when we look at what influences employee behavior, again, we talked about the external environment, but within the organization, we can look at how the organization is structured and set up, how employees are supervised, and the social context and how coworkers affect our employee behavior. Now, whether it is the organization structure or the supervision or the influence of coworkers, all of these things can affect our motivation. The degree to which we are motivated to act on the job. And there's different types of motivations that we'll discuss throughout this presentation. Of course, leadership is also key to supervision. Many places we can talk about the difference between a manager and a leader. I think sometimes these distinctions are made too much of because we need managers and we need leaders and we need managers who act like leaders. And I wouldn't get too worked up on the differences between a manager and a leader. I think we need to understand both. Of course, one of the primary things that leaders and managers do is set expectations for performance. It's done through communication, and of course that affects how motivated we are, the goals that we set. And rewards, those things that are received when goals are met, are also very important for motivating action. Of course, there are many different ways to design the tasks that make up a job. And what we've learned through many years of management science is that there are some ways that make people feel more responsible, that give them more information, and therefore make them more motivated to act. And so we need to understand how to design jobs that motivate people. Oftentimes, what we're drawing from is internal motivation, intrinsic motivation. And by giving people feedback, by giving them autonomy, these are ways of drawing out that intrinsic motivation and getting people to act on the job because they want to act. Now, outcomes of performance are sometimes within our control, sometimes not, but how we react to outcomes, whether we take the time to do a debrief, even when we succeed, maybe especially when we succeed, those are important ways that we can ultimately control outcomes. And of course, we cannot ignore the social context. There are informal rules that we call norms that are developed within groups that set boundaries on how people should act at work. There are different group dynamics, such as cooperation and conflict, that can motivate or demotivate. And ultimately, we can promote a group dynamic that involves teamwork and trust and cohesiveness. We're more likely to maximize the positive outcomes and minimize the negative outcomes.